Hello students, welcome back to JJ's physics class. I hope that all of you are doing very well. Today we will be discussing about uniform and non-uniform motion. In our surroundings, there are several living and non-living things present, whether they are humans, animals, birds, fishes, cars, trains, etc. All these objects, some are in motion while some stay at rest. What is the difference between rest and motion? A body is said to be at rest if its position with respect to the surroundings does not change with time. But what is motion? A body is said to be in motion if its position with respect to the surroundings changes with time. For example, if you are driving a car at a constant speed, the position of the car changes constantly with respect to the surroundings such as buildings, offices, your school or house, etc. You can say that the car is in motion. Motion can be of two types, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Let us find out the difference between these two quantities. What is uniform motion? As you can see in this picture, the car covers 10 meter in first 2 seconds, 20 meter in next 2 seconds, 30 meter in next 2 seconds. That means the car is said to be in uniform motion. So what is the definition here? An object covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. It is said to be in uniform motion. Another examples of uniform motion is the motion of the seconds hand in the clock. It always covers one circle in every minute. Another example here is the train covers 15 km in 15 seconds, 15 to 30 km, that is 15 km in another 15 seconds, and 30 to 45 km in another 15 seconds. The train covers equal distance in equal intervals of time. Another example here is the revolution of Earth around the Sun is uniform motion, as is the motion of the Moon revolving around the Earth is also examples of uniform motion. The motion of fan after switching on becomes uniform. This is also an example of uniform motion. Another important parameter here is graph. What is the nature of the graph? For uniform motion, the slope is always a straight line. We will study more about this in the position time graph or velocity time graph. What about non-uniform motion? If you remember the previous diagram, as you can see here, the car covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time. Then the object is said to be in non-uniform motion. If a car covers 5 meter in first 2 seconds, 15 meter in next 2 seconds, etc., then you can say that the object is in non-uniform motion. An object covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time. It is said to be in non-uniform motion. Can you tell me one example of non-uniform motion? A train coming to halt is an example of non-uniform motion as it decreases its speed. Another example here is running in a race is also an example of non-uniform motion as you start with high speed but eventually you slow down. Another example is when we travel in a car, we push the accelerator to increase the speed and brake to decrease the speed. This is an example of non-uniform motion. So what about the nature of graph? For non-uniform motion, the nature of graph is not a straight line. Let us find out the difference between uniform motion and non-uniform motion. The speed of the body is constant throughout the motion, that is in case of uniform motion. But in non-uniform motion, The speed is not constant but rather keeps changing. In uniform motion, the acceleration is 0, but non-uniform motion, it has non-zero acceleration. And the definition is another example. For uniform motion, the graph is drawn in straight line, but for non-uniform motion, the graph is not a straight line. Thank you.